Alright, so we have Belal Muhammad versus Demian Maia, who's returning after 15 months off at the age of 43. Quite concerning that he's taken that much time off. He's 43 and a half now, I guess. But yeah, he's getting up there in age for sure. But he does have a 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage over Belal. Striking tendencies of these two. So for Belal, he likes to use a lot of feints. He likes to be on the front foot as well, and then pushing his opponent back and then landing his shots from there. He looks to close distance with the jab. He's very fundamental with his striking. But he does telegraph his power hand a little bit. Every time he's looking to be offensive, like with a takedown or a combination or even a jab, he lowers his level. So when he's not feinting, his opponents can, easily get the read of when he's going to be offensive. And for Demian Maia, he is a southpaw. He doesn't look to keep it standing for too long. He's makes no secret about wanting to get you onto the mat. He looks to use feints to push you back to the cage and then shoot. He might throw a straight left here and there, but generally he's looking to feint you up to the cage and then look for his takedowns from there. And Belal, he's going to be looking to keep it at distance. And at distance, he can overextend on his 1-2 and then drag the back foot. But I don't know if he's going to be throwing too many 1-2s in this fight, honestly, against Demian Maia. I think he'll be concerned about, Demian Maia level changing on that. But yeah, Demian Maia, he makes no secret about where he wants to get the fight. He wants to get it onto the mat, and his takedowns in the open are actually pretty good, Has a nice single leg that he'll drive onto the fence and then look to finish with the double leg on the fence. And if his opponent is using a really low base and like low hands, just so they can get the underhooks ready, he'll go for a really low single, like same as Khabib does, and then look to, chain that onto the fence and then look for his chain wrestling from there. And I think he has quite good chain wrestling, he'll get in the body lock and then look for outside leg trips, transition, turn the corner, look for mat returns from there, go back to a double leg on the fence. He's pretty tenacious with his takedowns. And if he's, got the back body lock, he'll look to jump backpack, like pretty much just from the back body lock position, look to control from there. But also, he wants to get it onto the ground so much that he will pull guard if he's unable to get the takedowns. And we've seen that a few times. But on top, he's got seamless transitions. He's very good on top, very heavy on top. Armbar from mount, heavy pressure, heavy hip pressure from mount. He'll only look for ground and pound when he's in a super dominant position, like a low mount where his opponent's not bucking, or if he's got the opponent flattened out. But other than that, he's very focused on position and just controlling the opponent, or looking for submissions if the when openings arise. And if he gets on your back, he's got a very tight body triangle, sucks the life out of you, and then he's looking for the rear naked choke or the short choke. And he's very strong, like he has very strong grappling strength. Strength related to grappling and grappling positions and all that. Like he was able to choke Ben Askren out with one arm, so that kind of tells you how strong he is. How these guys win fights. So for Demian Maia, he's a super legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I think he's the best in recent UFC history in my opinion. He has a really nice top game, great scrambles as well. For Belal Muhammad, he's solid everywhere. He has good cardio, good volume, good pace, and he's a solid fighter. He doesn't excel anywhere, but he's solid everywhere, and he has good recoverability as well when he does get hurt. How these guys lose fights. So for Belal Muhammad, it's the striking tendencies that we omitted because Demian Maia is not going to really exploit them. So yeah, don't worry about that. For Demian Maia, it's that his stand-up isn't great. Also the fact that he's quite slow in the stand-up, just everywhere really. But, he has subpar cardio, barely takes 2 rounds to empty the gas tank when he is, going full tilt with the grappling. But basically, it's the stylistic matchup that he gets matched up with. It's when he faces guys with great takedown defense who also have better striking than him. Guys like Kamaru Usman, Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, those kind of guys. Path to victory for these two. So for Demian Maia, he only fights in one way, so I won't really beat around the bush. So yeah, just the normal Demian Maia game plan, I guess. And for Belal Muhammad, look to control the center of the octagon and just stay the hell away from the fence. Use your lateral movement. Look to land the left hook as you angle off from the cage. Also uppercuts and straights to the body. Kind of can't really shoot underneath those unless he really changes his angle. High kicks, if any kicks, but I probably wouldn't even recommend it because I don't know, his kicks look kind of awkward. Like Belal's power kicks look kind of awkward and quite slow. But when he uses the lead leg, they look okay. But just generally his kicks, they look quite awkward to me, honestly. How I see the fight going. So yeah, on the feet, Belal's obviously sharper. He'll win at distance, but he needs to control the center of the octagon. He needs to probably take the front foot as well, or else Maia's just going to keep driving him into the fence. Like, Leon Edwards and Lyman Good were able to back Belal Muhammad up with feints early, so I think, Maia could probably do the same thing. It's a natural reaction to back up when someone's coming at you and you think they're going to throw a strike, or they actually do throw a strike, so, backing up's fine, but you don't want to back up straight onto the fence, because that's literally what Demian Maia wants you to do. Belal's pretty good at moving laterally off the fence, but sometimes he can stick around there for too long and just get caught with either a takedown shot or just a big shot when he's, close to the fence. I think Jeff Neal stuck him a few times when he was just staying onto the fence. Like, Belal's usually on the front foot, but Maia's just so good at backing you up because of the takedown threat and the constant feints that he uses. Like, he gets everyone down that way. Only Colby, Woodley, and Usman were able to stop the takedowns, and they're all very, very high-level wrestlers. Belal has solid takedown defense, but it's going to need to be solid when you're facing a guy with the strength and the chain wrestling technique of Demian Maia. I think he'll be able to get Belal down, and the question is, will Belal be able to get back to his feet safely? Because not a lot of people can do that. I'm not 100% sure on Belal's get-up game because I don't have a large sample size, honestly, of Belal's, bottom game and get-up game. Like, if you go back on his UFC record, there's only one decent grappler or a person that even looks to take him down on his record, and that's Jordan Mean. So, that he isn't even much of a wrestler anyway, but I think Belal's, had a lot of strikers in his bracket throughout his UFC career. And you look at Demian Maia's record, like, he's only lost to the elite of the elite, and he was fighting very well in the Burns fight until, like, Burns just caught him hanging out in boxing range for too long, and, we know Gilbert Burns has the pop to put anyone down, like, even dropped Kamaru Usman early. And Belal, on the other hand, hasn't knocked anybody down in the 13 fights that he's had in the UFC, so he definitely doesn't have the pop of Gilbert Burns. And, Belal, he has nowhere near the scrambling ability of Gilbert Burns either, so I don't know if he's going to be able to get back to his feet if Demian Maia does take him down, as Gilbert Burns was able to. Although I must say, I'm expecting, Demian Maia's cardio and chin to be the worst we've seen from him. I mean, those things aren't going to get better with age, and this year, it hasn't been a good one for those guys over 37 years old. I mean, to name a few, Jacare, Tony Ferg, Cowboy, Cub, Woodley, Frankie, a lot of these old guys haven't been having too much success. But yeah, the third round's definitely going to be hairy if you're on Maia. You can see the strength is still there, but the cardio and the chin seems to be withering a little bit, but he's never been a guy to rely on like blistering speed or supreme power. I'd probably categorize him under the Glover Teixeira category, like put those guys in the same category, because these guys are quite weathered, their chins are failing them, but they know where they're strongest, and that's on the mat, and they don't really mess around with the stand-up too much anymore. All in all though, I think it's going to be a vintage Demian Maia performance, honestly. I think he's going to feint Belal to the fence, shoot, get him down, and I think he's going to submit Belal after he makes a mistake on the mat, either in round 1 or 2. So yeah, prime Maia, I think this would have been an easy pick for me, because I had more faith in his chin, his cardio, but with the layoff and the age factor as well, I'm not as confident, but I still think he has all the tools to win this fight, Like, until someone who isn't a super high-level defensive wrestler stuffs all of Maia's takedowns and styles him on the feet, I don't think I'm going to stop betting Demian Maia, honestly. I'm fine with putting a bit on old man Maia in this matchup, definitely, because I know he's going to work like a dog for those takedowns, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. A guy who knows where he's best, he's going to implement a game plan, he's going to try his hardest to get the takedowns, get it onto the mat where he's got a big advantage. And, that's all you can ask for at the end of the day when you invest money into a fighter, is that they're going to, bring it, fight for your money, and fight intelligently. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and we'll have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so my prediction is Demian Maia. I think he gets the submission in round 1. And yeah, so just if Belal catches him, if Belal outclasses him, then fine, but, Belal hasn't really hurt anybody in the UFC, like, he hasn't put too much damage on people, and like, if he puts damage on Demian Maia, then I guess that would be because of the age, and Demian Maia just gets caught, and his durability is just, completely withered, but, I think Demian Maia's shown that he can implement his game plan still to this day, so I am going to bet Demian Maia. Anything above picker mods, I'd bet Demian Maia, and, maybe a draw, maybe Belal gets a 10-8 in round 3, maybe Demian Maia gets a 10-8 in round 1, Belal wins the next 2, so yeah, that's what I'm looking at.